Maimonides' teachings were at the beginning. Today we learn 248 positive commandments. I'll be quite frank, I don't know if we're going to be able to go through all of them here, but we'll try. Get through what we can. Okay. Positive commandments, part 1. The first of the positive commandments, there's 248 of them, is the mitzvah to know that there is a God. I am the Lord your God. Hey, it's going to be this whatchamacallit, right? This Friday will be the 10 Commandments. And what's the first commandment? I'm the Lord your God. So Rambam is explaining that means that you should know God. As why is he telling me this? In order that I should know him. Second mitzvah is to unify him. God is our Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. The oneness of God, right? To unify him. That we say in the Shema. That's from the Shema. And then from the Shema we also have the next mitzvah. What is the next mitzvah? Is to love God. As it says, V'ahavta es Hashem Elokecha, and you should love the Lord your God. Right? From the Shema. And then we also have to fear God, as the verse says, V'es Hashem Elokecha tira, that you should fear God. Then we have to pray to God. Where do we know that? As the verse says, V'avadtem Hashem Elokecha ba'avoda zu tefillah. Right? And you shall serve God, your Lord. That refers service. What is service? What does service mean? Prayer. That's the concept of prayer. And then we have a mitzvah that we have to cling to God. As the verse says, Boy tidbok. And you shall cling to God, to him. Referring to God, you should cling to him. Right? Huh? Through the mitzvah, that's how you'll cling, yes. But no, you can do a mitzvah out of rote. That's not clinging, right? Be aware that through the mitzvah, you're clinging to him. That's different than, right? In other words, there's a mitzvah, put on tefillin, give tzedakah, right? In those acts, right, that's one mitzvah. You have another mitzvah in the act that you should be clinging to him through the act. You're united with God through the act that you're doing of a mitzvah. But that doesn't mean you have an awareness you're clinging to him. That's what this mitzvah is. Is that clear? Translate clinging into French. Yeah? Connect. Cling means like to, this is clinging. Cling. Not clean. Cling with a G. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's continue. Okay. Then there's a mitzvah that we have to swear in his name, and you shall swear in God's name. By the way, we're getting all the mitzvahs here. What's going to be after we get through this, right? Then we're going to go into all of the mitzvahs, taking them apart to understand the parameter of the mitzvah, right? What's the parameter? That's what Rambam is all about. Is here are the verses that tell us what the 248 positive commandments. Tomorrow we're going to learn the 365 negative commandments, and then the rest of the book will be, what does it mean to love God? In what way am I loving God? Right? Where's that? How's that? What's the parameter of that law? What does it mean to swear in God's name? Here, to emulate his good and just ways. As the verse says, that you should walk in his ways. So that's different than loving God. It's a different nuance, right? And again, the parameters of it will be later. Okay? To sanctify his name. And I shall sanctify, I'll be sanctified amidst the children of Israel. And what's important when we learn, what does it mean to sanctify over here? What does it mean? Anybody know? Give up your life. to give up your life for God, right? That's the ultimate sanctification, that you give up your life for God, right? In, whether it's in battle for the, for the sake of protecting, life, or to, fighting in the name of God for whatever reason that is, or God forbid that, someone's got a sword at your neck that says, convert to another faith, another religion.
That's why we say the Shema before we.
Right?
Whatever.
Yeah. Because that brings out the unity of God, which was another mitzvah. So that would be like two mitzvahs, right? There's two separate mitzvahs that come together. Right? Yeah, exactly. Oh, look at that. After sanctifying God's name, recite the Shema twice daily. They're connected. Right? And you should speak of them. So how do we know that we have to say the Shema twice daily? Because it says, you shall speak of them when you lie down, that's nighttime, and when you arise, that's daytime. Right? Now, what's the parameter of that law? When you arise. What is that, 6 in the morning? 9 o'clock in the morning? So the parameter, we'll learn later what that law is. We're going to learn later because it's the law of when kings wake up. Kings wake up after everybody else. Servants wake up first, right? Because they got to prepare everything for the king. So they wake up first. They wake up before dawn, right? So the law of saying the Shema is not based on them, based on kings. Now, why kings? Actually, this just came to me. Doesn't say the parameter of the law, but it just came to me because what did we just learn in Chumash today? We're a kingdom of priests. We're kings, right? So therefore, the law of saying the Shema, right? And now the law of the Shema is about saying the Shema. So you got to verbalize it, right? You got to recite it. Because the verse says, V'di bartabam, you speak in them. Speak means not say the Shema in your head or read it only. If you read it, you don't fulfill the mitzvah, right? You have to verbalize it. Well, how do you know that? Because that's what again, I'm telling you stuff that we're going to learn later. I'm just showing you of some of the things that how it's learned out from the verse. Okay? Got it? Okay. Hold on. Okay. Let's continue. To study Torah and to teach it. How do you know that? Vishinantam levanecha. Where's that? Also in the Shema. And you shall teach them to your children. So it's interesting. Teach them to your children. It means to teach. You can only teach if you learn. Implied from there is you can't teach something if you didn't learn it, right? I could not teach you Einstein's theory of relativity. I didn't learn it, so I can't teach it to you, right? I learned Torah so I could teach. Okay? To tie tefillin upon your heads, as it says. This is all in the Shema, by the way. So much of what we're just explaining over here is just in the Shema prayer, right? So what's interesting, the tefillin of the head is one mitzvah, right? Because it says she'll make an emblem between your eyes, right? And then there's another mitzvah to tie tefillin on your arms, because it says that it should be a sign on your arms. Separate mitzvah, one from the other. Okay? Now next, tzitzis. V'asulam tzitzis. That's in the third paragraph of the Shema that we say every day. Right? The Shema. Affix some mezuzahs on your doorposts. Where's that? In the first paragraph of the Shema. And you shall affix them, write them on the doorposts of your home. Wow, this is interesting that now he brings. Wow. This is very interesting. The next two mitzvahs that he brings over here are the last two mitzvahs in the Torah, and he now brings it here. It's fascinating. I don't know why Rambam does that. I wonder. What is that? Hakel. Hakel is to collect the people and to hear the Torah being read in the year following the Shemitah, the sabbatical year, as it says in the verse, gather together the people. Hakel is am. Wow, that's fascinating why he puts it here as the 16th mitzvah. And now the 17th mitzvah is the very last mitzvah that is written in the Torah, Parshat Vayelech in Deuteronomy 31:12. Actually, they're not both in the same verse. How's it 31? Both are 31:12? Can I have the Chitas book? Pass me the Chitas book, please. Thank you. Thank you so much. So there it says that each man should write a Torah scroll for himself, as the verse says. Write down this song. Just me, I'm just like a little fascinated over here. One second, what did you say? Well, it's not in the same verse, that's for sure. The two of them. I'm not catching it where it is. And not so important. It's just I found it that it was something. Okay. Oh. Okay, it's verse 19. It's a mistake over here. It says verse 12. It's verse 19. It's the last one. Okay. Sorry. Okay. For a king to write a second Torah scroll for himself, in addition to the one which he is required to write, to fulfill the mitzvah incumbent upon every man. So every man has to write one Torah. Today, again, we're going to get the parameters of that, right? What does it mean? Everybody has to write their own Torah scroll. And do you have to write it yourself? You have to be an expert. So we'll learn from Rambam. Someone could write it for you. Today, we're going to learn also, we'll learn when we get there that it could be, that you can just have a letter in a Torah scroll. That's also like you're writing, or through books, holy Torah books, right? So again, the parameters we're going to learn later. I'm just giving you a little, idea here. So the king has to have two of them, right? He has what every person has to have one, and thus he will have two Torah scrolls, as the verse says, and he shall write for himself a copy of this Torah to bless God after eating, as it says, after you eat, and eating is called only with bread, when you break bread, right? That's called like a meal. And then satisfied, because from satisfied, bread is what satisfies you, right? I guess, again, biblically, that's the concept, and therefore that's the law, the parameter of the law. And you shall bless God, your Lord. That's what we do because of Moshe, benching, right? Blessing after meals. To revere the house, his house, and revere my sanctuary, as the verse says. Revere God's sanctuary, meaning you walk into the holy temple, right? We can't walk in if you want to get from one end to the other and it's a shortcut, for example, because that's our giving reverence to the place. You're using it for your own benefit. That's not reverence, right? Or you don't, do things that are not appropriate in that place, right? From there, we learn in a synagogue, similar, because that's also sanctuary of God, right? It's a replacement of the holy sanctuary of the Beis Hamikdash. To keep watch of the house constantly, continuously, as it states, and you and your descendants before the tent of testimony, and they shall keep watch. Okay, I have to stop here. I would love to continue, but I can't, or I choose not. God
Thank you.
bless you all.